Good evening, everyone. I'm Amy Gill, joining you live from Tiger Stadium, where the LSU-Florida game just wrapped up, and man, this certainly was one for the ages. We have to ask really quickly, third-ranked Ole Miss got the loss last night. Were you able to watch that game against Florida?
They went down to the swamp. You got to take your hat off to Florida. That's a good young team.
The Golden State Warriors are just one win away from a place they haven't been since 1976. The Western Conference Finals. There's been talk about him possibly retiring soon, hanging up the cleats. Well, I got to ask him about it today. DeRuiter in particular likes this sort of technology for the quarterbacks because they're able to see the formations a lot better than with a simple camera. Totally new quarterbacks coming up. Zach Greenlee, Kilton Anderson, Chasen Virgil. What did you see out of each of those quarterbacks? Now, LSU absolutely needs this win in order to keep their national title hopes alive. Huge matchup we have here. 6th-ranked LSU against 8th-ranked Florida. But they've got a backup quarterback that they're going to have to start tonight. The first day of spring practice means that the quarterback competition begins today. This is almost a completely different offensive line than they started with week 1, and they were still able to protect him. You probably got to see a bit of number 62. I'm talking about former Fresno State offensive lineman Ryan Wendell. Once again, we are here with San Joaquin Memorial, the winners of tonight's Carl's Jr. Game of the Week. How did it feel, guys?
Now, Sports Central, presented by Table Mountain Casino.
At 7-6 in the conference, the Fresno State men's hoops team is trying to tread above that 500 line. They're on the road at Utah State today, a team that's just one game ahead of them in the league standings. Well, the Aggies up by 4 in the second half. Julian Lewis gets the floater to fall to cut the lead. He had a team-high 21 points, but Utah State actually extends the lead. JoJo McGlaston hits David Collette for the dunk, and that puts them up by double digits. But Fresno State actually comes back, and with 1 minute 20 seconds to go, Marvell Harris, boom, drains the triple to make it just a 3-point game. But with 48 seconds to go, well, Utah State, they're getting it done. Darius Perkins nails the dagger. All the Aggies, they take down the Dogs 85-79, so Fresno State is now 7-7 in the Mountain West play. The Dogs will be at Wyoming on Wednesday, and the Cowboys are currently 2nd place in the conference. Meanwhile, the women's team played today at the Save Mart Center. Fresno State trying to snap a 4-game losing streak, and pretty cool, the band using their cell phones as lights during the pregame intros. Well, first half, good ball movement. Alex Spur with the fake, and then steps back for the 3. That was actually her only basket of the game, but the Dogs are up by 4. Then Fur, she's driving, and she kicks it out to Robin Draper, who nails the 3 shot. She had 12 points, a perfect 3 for 3 from the field, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Still first half, the Dogs working around to Alex Sheedy. She's money from the top of the key. She had a team-high 22 points, 12 rebounds for her 9th double-double of the season. The Bulldogs get that losing taste out of their mouths with a 64-55 victory.
If we were sitting here talking about...
Over to baseball, Fresno State continuing their road trip at Nevada. The Wolfpack with a 7-2 lead in the 6th. 2 on, that's Taylor Ward hitting it deep to the wall in center. 2 runs come on in to make it a 7-4 game. He actually had 4 RBI today, including a home run later on. The Dogs walked in several runs in the bottom of the 6th, and they fall yet again to Nevada 12-7. The Wolfpack will go for the sweep coming up tomorrow. As for the Fresno State softball team, the Dogs hit back-to-back-to-back. That's right, 3 home runs in a row in the 7th inning helped propel them to a 13-8 win over Stanford. They'll actually close out the tournament tomorrow against Oklahoma State and Loyola Marymount. Meanwhile, at the NFL Combine today, the wide receivers, it was their turn. So former Bulldog Josh Harper got to show his stuff to the scouts in the 40-yard dash. You can see it's kind of a bit of a disappointment. He clocked a 4.64, which is actually the 5th slowest time among all the wideouts. Harper did not finish in the top 15 out of the receivers in any of the combine categories. Well, tomorrow, defensive lineman Tyler Davison and linebacker Eric Kendricks, who's a Hoover grad, they will have their turn to show their stuff. Now, our Petty Automotive play of the day comes from football. The Fresno Fuego hosting the LA Galaxy 2 tonight for an exhibition. More than 4,000 fans came out to Chancey Park. How about that? But it's LA doing their work early, up 1-0. Travis Bowen with an MLS caliber move gets some space and beats Fuego goalie Sean Toffer. Fuego would add 1, but the Galaxy 2 would add another 2 in the second half. LA wins 4-1. The Fuego will host their next game at Chancey Park on March 27th. And we can't forget today's big hockey event all the way in Santa Clara, the Stadium Series at Levi Stadium. The Sharks hosting the Kings. LA gets out early. Jake Muzzin the shot. And the goal, the Kings led 1-0. But if we look a bit closer, though, the puck was actually tipped by Kyle Clifford, so he gets credit for the goal. But nevertheless, it's 1-0. Soon after, on the faceoff, the puck goes to Brent Burns, and he scores. Tie game 1-1 all the way until the third period, and that's where Marian Gaborik, he is skating, sends the puck straight into the net. The Sharks could not recover. LA spoils the outdoor game just a bit with the 2-1 victory. And the high school hoops playoff seedings, they were actually announced today. You can find that info online right now at yourcentralvalley.com. Catherine? Sometimes things can change on a dime. After winning the Valley Championship almost 3 weeks ago, Buchanan baseball stuck to tradition and celebrated with the dog pile. But it soon became clear that something was very wrong.
One of my friends tackled me, and I tried to come down on my stomach, and I got my right foot across, and my left foot got stuck. I guess my cleat got stuck in the ground. And so once I hit the ground, all the bodies came on top of me, and I felt like a ripple of pops. Once they got off, that flipped over, and I just saw my knee, and I just had no idea it was that bad, but it was bad.
Connor Lepridge, who had just thrown a 3-hit complete game, had to be taken away on a stretcher. Lepridge had a dislocated kneecap.
If I could have pulled him out or changed the dog pile routine a little bit, that was something I would like to do and take back, but you know, it's one of those freak kind of things, and it just happened.
Normally when you dislocate it, it just falls off to the side, and normally you could just pop it back in. I actually tried to pop it back in on the field. You can see in the picture here. It wasn't really normal. I saw it, tried to pop it back in, and I might have jammed it farther into my knee. It's like at a 45-degree angle right there.
The senior was immediately taken to a hospital where it took doctors a few hours to pop his kneecap back into place. A few weeks later now, Lepridge wears a brace and walks with crutches. That's how he walked at graduation last night, and it's the reason he will not be on the mound at Chachansey Park on Sunday night, but instead he'll be in the dugout.
There's one guy that really deserves to be on the bump, you know, that night, Sunday night, it's him. That won't slow him down. He's still excited. He wanted me to list him as a coach on the staff. You know, that's his personality, right?
It sucks because like I wanted to get to play one last time with like my best friends on the team. But I mean, it's not too bad. It's just another game, another week of rest that I get for next year.
Luckily, Lepridge is expected to make a full recovery before the next baseball season. He has a full ride scholarship to play for St. Mary's. At Buchanan High School, Amy Gill for Sports Central.